Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Orlando is the most anticipated Halloween event in all of the United States. This is everything you need to know. Hey everybody, if you're new here, make sure you like and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all things theme park, cruise, and travel. And if you're a returning viewer, make sure you click that notification bell so you never miss a video. If you clicked on this video, it means you have good taste, and you probably want to know everything there is to know about Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Orlando. Well, sit back and relax because this is your complete guide to Halloween Horror Nights. You probably already know what HHN is because you clicked on this video, but I'll give you a quick rundown. Halloween Horror Nights consist of 10 haunted houses, 5 scare zones, shows throughout the night, and my favorite, Halloween themed food. The houses both consist of originals and IPs. Originals are basically Universal's original storylines that they turn into haunted houses. And IPs are intellectual properties, things like Ghostbusters, which is one of the houses this year. They've done Stranger Things in the past, The Weekend. Some of the houses for this year's event are Ghostbusters, which I'm really excited about, A Quiet Place, Insidious, Goblin House, Museum House, and there's a few more. I think there's some really cool concepts. What are you excited about? What line are you going to run to first? Make sure you let me know in the comments below. So with all of these great haunted houses within Universal Studios, your number one question is probably, well, how do I find these houses? Basically, the houses are pretty much in the same spot every year. That's where a lot of these speculation maps come from. However, they do sometimes shift a little bit. So keep that in mind when you're watching any of the videos to prepare yourself that include speculation maps. But the best way to tell where a house is going to be located is to basically look for the signs. They're going to have these big like TV monitors. It's going to tell you the name of the house. It's going to give you the wait time, all of that information. That's the best way to tell what's going to be where when you get to HHN. So something that you may not know is all of the houses are actually backstage, and that's where the houses are. They're not actually within the theme park itself, which makes a lot of sense because these haunted houses are huge, so they use the back lots. The next thing you're probably wondering about is scare zones, and the best way to describe a scare zone is it's a zone where you get scared. That's basically it. And if you are hoping to see all the scare zones, don't worry. As you walk through HHN, you are literally going to walk through each of those 5 scare zones. Keep in mind, if you have younger teenagers with you, of course, HHN is not really suited for younger kids. I think the disclaimer is 13 and below, be aware kind of thing. As you're walking through these scare zones, they do have scare actors, so if that's something that is a little too intense for you or for someone that is with you, please take that into consideration because there are potentially going to be a lot of scare actors and a lot of guests in a small confined area as you're walking through the scare zones, so keep that in mind. But just to make it a little easier, if you want to know where each of those scare zones are, I'm going to tell you right now. They are located at Hollywood Boulevard, Central Park, San Francisco, New York, and then the 5th one is basically the one at the beginning of the park when you come into HHN. For this year's event, they have only announced one show, and we are literally like 48 hours away from HHN's opening day. So the only show that we know about right now is the Nightmare Fuel Nocturnal Circus show, and that is going to be held at the back of the park where the old Fear Factor show used to be. Their show times right now are listed as 8 p.m., 9:30 p.m., 11 p.m., and 12:30 a.m. Last year there was Megan that took the internet by storm. I really hope that comes back because I didn't get to see it last year. Sometimes there can be water shows out on the lagoon. However, I don't think they're going to have that this year because I know Sensational is on a break until November. So I don't think there'll be a water show. But if there is, make sure you stop and watch it because those are beautiful and scary. And then there is the themed food. So if you know me, well, you probably don't because you're probably new here. So make sure you subscribe and ring the notification bell. Anyway, something about me is I love a good theme. I love food. So Halloween themed food is probably what I'm most excited about for this year's HHN. It's the colors for me. I mean, Halloween colors are so pretty. The orange, purple, green all together. And then if they're like neon or bright colors or even better, glitter, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna eat it all up. I'm most excited about the Ghostbusters themed food booths. I was in Universal yesterday and then earlier today, just checking out the park. Gonna start doing some vlogs in the park, so ring the notification bell and all of those things. Anyway, we are about 48 hours out from HHN's opening night, so all of those booths are there. Of course, they're not serving the food yet, but you were able to see everything that they're going to have, and the food item I am most excited about is the mini Stay Puft S'mores. It is so spooktaculous. That's not a word. I'm trying. Anyway, it's $6.99. I cannot wait to try that. I'm so excited. It looks spookalicious. Just go with it. Okay, so maybe some of the most important information that you need to know about Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios. This is a separately ticketed event. So let's break down what that means. So some important things you need to know about HHN is, like I said, it's a separately ticketed event, which means your daytime ticket is not going to grant you access to Halloween Horror Nights. However, if you are going to HHN and you do have a day ticket for the day that you're going, there are some added benefits, but we'll come back to that. If you have express passes attached to your daytime ticket, it's very important to know that those express passes will not work for HHN's express pass. And that remains true even if you buy express passes separately or if you stay at one of the Lowe's resorts that give you express passes. They are not going to work for HHN. Let's talk about the different kind of tickets that you can get for Halloween Horror Nights. There are single night tickets that start at $83, but those prices are going to change based off of the night you go and when you buy them. That means if you decide to wait until you get to the front gate and you want to buy a ticket on property, you are going to pay a substantial amount higher than if you buy your tickets in advance online. And we're talking $10 or $20 more per person per ticket. So buy your tickets online, you're going to save a lot more money. And then you can buy more treats. Then you have multi-night tickets, and there are different tiers or different levels to that, but basically it is a ticket that allows you into HHN for multiple nights, and these tickets are a couple $100s a piece. The easiest way to understand the different tiers is basically the lower tiers get you in for a less number of days, and the higher tier gets you in for the most number of days during HHN's events. When it comes to the multi-day tickets, make sure you look at Universal's website. It's going to give you a breakdown of each tier of the multi-day pass or multi-night pass. It's going to break down the prices for you, and it's going to tell you exactly what nights it's going to be available for. So if you are traveling here for HHN, make sure you look at that in advance. If you're a local and you're trying to figure out what level to buy, make sure you check out the dates, compare it to when you are able to come, and then choose what is best for you. Now, if you're wanting to get Express Pass for this year's HHN, they are only offering single night Express Passes, and they are starting at $180. Let's talk about some of those add-ons for the actual event. You have the Behind the Screams Unmasking the Horror Tour. Now, this is a daytime tour. You can either choose a 3-house or a 6-house option, and you basically go through and tour the houses. Those start at $100 a piece per person. There is the RIP tour, which is basically the HHN version of the VIP tour that Universal offers to its daytime guests. For HHN, the cheapest price I've seen so far is $279. I've personally never done any VIP tours or anything like that, so I don't know if they're worth it. But if it helps, I have heard a lot of people say that they are definitely worth the money, but that's all gonna depend on your budget. Now we need to talk about Stay and Scream, and I don't know why, but a lot of people get really confused about this, so I'm gonna break it down for you and make it super simple to understand. It's important to know that Halloween Horror Nights starts every night at 6 6:30 p.m. and goes all the way until the next morning at 2 a.m. And this is something that you want to keep in mind while thinking about getting Stay and Scream tickets. Basically, Stay and Scream is EPA for Halloween Horror Nights. It's a way to get in line, start going through the houses before the event actually starts. For Stay and Scream, there are going to be designated areas that you will need to go to, get checked into before 5 p.m. There are going to be different areas throughout the park that have Stay and Scream check-in areas. Think of those areas as like a holding area for that section of Universal or that section of houses within that area. So if you're confused, basically look for the signs, talk to the team member before you check into that area to make sure that's where you want to be. If there's a certain house you want to go to, make sure that house is a part of that Stay and Scream holding area. Now, in order to get into the Stay and Scream check-in areas, you do have to show that you have a ticket for the HHN event on that night. Don't get this confused with the Scream Early ticket. I think this is where a lot of the confusion comes into. Universal does sell this ticket, and it's basically for people that don't have a daytime ticket or those of us that don't have annual pass. Well, actually, I have annual passes now. But if you don't have an annual pass, this is something that you can consider buying to get you into the park early. Those are starting at $55 and you get into the park around 3 p.m. So again, if you don't have a day ticket and you don't have an annual pass, this is something that you would just get into the park earlier. It is not a ticket to HHN. This will allow you to get into those Stay and Scream areas. Now, please keep in mind, if you already have a day ticket or an annual pass, there is no need to buy this particular pass. It's not going to do anything. It's nothing but a waste of money if you already have those tickets. You don't need them. Take that money and buy Halloween treats for yourself. I don't know, but don't buy this if you have an annual pass or a daytime ticket. It's not necessary. Okay, now remember the beginning of the video where I said HHN at Universal Studios in Orlando is the most anticipated Halloween event of the year? I mean that. If you are going to HHN and you don't have a daytime ticket, you're just going to get there when the event starts at 6:30, you might want to really think about what time you leave the house, factor in traffic, because it is going to be a living nightmare. Parking is going to be insane. The line to get into HHN is going to be insane. So if you think you're going to just get into the park at 6:30, I can guarantee that you will not actually make it into the gate until about 7:30. There have been times at events past where the line to get into HHN has gone all the way back to City Walk. During last year's event, I literally saw where people were lined up around 2 p.m. in the afternoon for the event that starts at 6:30. So please leave early, plan ahead, take snacks, water, whatever you need, but you need to be prepared to be there early, or be prepared to know that you're not going to get into the event for a while because of the massive amounts of the crowds going into this event. If you have any questions about this year's event, go ahead and leave those in the comments below. I do look at my comments and I will try to give you the best possible answer to help your HHN be successful. That's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and if you want to stay up to date on all things theme park, cruise, and travel, please consider subscribing with that notification bell on. Until next time. Oh, and if you see me in the park, say hi, because like in person I'm super shy, but I would love to talk to you. I will be going to the parks starting next week, so I'm really excited. I will be spending a lot of time at Universal. I have a series planned, and oh, you can hear it in my voice. I'm already nervous just thinking about it, but I'm so excited. So yeah, if you see me in the parks, make sure you stop by and say hi. Okay, see you guys.